Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
I am delighted to see you all and to welcome you as we welcome Shabbat and to welcome you to the light and warmth and beautiful color of the CHV chapel. Also inviting you, welcoming you to take note of the front door and the back door, the way you came in. It's the way you could go out should the need arise. The doors are metaphorically, in fact, literally open, although front door is closed, back door is closed, locked for security, but open and welcoming for all. Offering first thanks to our greeter, and on this day after the day of thanks, thanks for this Shabbat, page 127. We offer thanks to the source for this Shabbat, which unites us in faith and in hope, for Shabbat holiness, which inspires sacred living, for Shabbat memories, glowing even in darkness, for Shabbat peace, born of friendship and love. We offer thanks and blessings to our source. 129. 129. Continuing with songs of Kabbalat Shabbat's love songs, My Beloved is Mine and I Am My Beloved's, in the Song of Songs, continuing on 129. When the source of creation set out to create, imagined a world that could only exist if first they created light. Page 120, welcoming the light of Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Welcoming now the Sabbath brides, the Chadodi, page 138, verses 1, 2, 5, and 9, standing as we reach the 9th verse with open hearts for this Shabbat.
Chadodi, Livrat Kala, Eni Shabbat, Ekavela, Chadodi, Livrat Kala, Eni Shabbat, Ekavela, Shamoy v'Zachor, v'Dibur. Shemo echad, Shemo tiferet v'lidhira, le'adodi, likrat kala, kenei Shabbat, kavela, le'adodi, likrat kala, Shabbat.
on Shabbat, we welcome the peace of Shabbat and also the messengers of peace. Angels abound. 142.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaSharet, Malachei Elyon, B'melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Boachem L'Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, B'melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Baruchoni L'Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, B'melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
144.
Yitkadav Yitkadash Shemei Rabbah, Ve'alma Divrach Yerutei, Ve'amlich Malchutei, V'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael, Bagala, Bagala, u'v'zman kariv, v'yimru Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah Mevorach, Le'olam L'olmei Almaya. Yitbarach, Yitbarach, v'yishtabach, v'yitba'ar, v'yitromam, v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar, v'yitaleh, v'yitalal, Shmei Dekudesha Baruchu, Le'ila min kol birchata, v'shirata, Tushbechata v'nechemata, Zamiran be'alma v'yimru. Amen.
Rising now as we are called and as you are able, finding our feet, our center, our source, page 146.
Oh
now honor the coming of darkness. 148. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro mariv aravim, b'chokma poteach sharim, uvit una mishaneh itim, umachalif et hazmanim, sader et hakochavim, v'mishmerotechem barakia kertsono, borei yom v'layla, golel or mipnei choshek, v'choshek mipnei or, uma'avir yom umevir layla, umavdil ben yom uven layla, Adonai tzavaot shemo, el chai v'chayam, tamid yimloch aleinu, leolam va'ed.
Baruch atah Adonai hamahariv aravim.
151. Wisdom and wonder, passion and instruction, story and symbol. All these things your Torah gives to us. And the more we devote ourselves to it, the more it grows and gives. What could be a truer token of your abiding love than this holiest of your works and the living language that gives its form?
Baruch atah Adonai ohev amo Yisrael.
Rising now to offer our praise from one to the one. (152).
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed.
May be seated. 154. Ve'avta et Adonai Elohecha be'kol levavcha u'kol nafshecha u'v'kol me'odecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanacha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'veitecha uv'lechtecha b'derech uv'shokbecha uv'kumecha u'kshartam le'ot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot bein einecha u'chtavtam al mezuzot beitecha u'visharecha Adonai Elohechem emet. Emet. With love, we are infinite, no matter what you are calling out for or who you are calling out to. May we all have the courage to say yes to love. 159. Sing the song of people joined in understanding and respect. The song of God's miracles, an earth protected and cherished, a gift for our children and the generations to come. The song of a land once ravaged by war, now quiet and content, her soldiers home to leave no more. The song of a world redeemed, the song of peace. 158.
Yai lai 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 yai lai 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 lai
When we rise up and when we lay down, we offer a prayer for peace. 161.
Shalom, me'ata ve'ad olam.
Rising now as you are able, for prayer, for conversation. 164. Continuing together in a whisper at your own pace, inviting you as the prayers of your hearts have been offered and heard to find your seat.
עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל
Feed me. Aliteni ki ayef anochi. Feed me. I'm weak. I read in these words offered in desperation by Esau to his brother Jacob a challenge in this week's Parsha. A challenge and an opportunity to consider as compassionate, justice-oriented readers of Torah, both the emotional lineage and the economic ethic of our tradition, and to strain or filter whatever spiritual nourishments we can from the soup of ego, injury, and moral ambiguity that the Parsha has on offer. We read in Parsha Be'era, which we read several weeks ago now, that Abraham and Sarah were models of hospitality, that they welcomed guests with tent flaps open and choice offering of foods. But when in this week's Parsha, and Parsha Toldot, Esau begs food from his brother's table, Jacob exploits Esau's hunger for his own profit. Hungry, are you? Come, eat. But first, forfeit your birthright. Relinquish it to me. As a matter of emotional lineage, making sense of Jacob's treatment of Esau requires, I think, us to consider the generations of Isaac. It also requires that we consider the significance of food, or food as a sort of leitmotif that runs through our text, and as we consider Jacob's relationship with his father and his brother. You recall that Isaac witnessed the banishment of Ishmael by Abraham when he was a young boy, and one wonders, I wonder, it's possible, likely even, that this experience, this witnessing of banishment, introduced a fear of being similarly banished into Isaac's budding subconscious. And if the banishment of Ishmael likely also sensitized Isaac later in life to the plight of Esau, who, though situated by rights to receive Isaac's blessing, his innermost blessing, was, as a matter of character, the most likely to be banished. It's a question. That Isaac's life was saved by a ram when on Mount Moriah his father raises his hand to kill him. I wonder, it's possible, it's likely that this created for Isaac a subconscious connection between meat and what might otherwise have been his death. No wonder Isaac favored Esau and had a taste for game. Making sense of Isaac's indifference to Jacob is another matter. As a matter of speculation, I'll say perhaps Isaac over-identified with Jacob, who, like Isaac, was the foreordained heir to the covenant and his mother's favorite. Perhaps rejecting Jacob was a subconscious reenactment of Abraham's rejection of him. Perhaps. But what difference does it make why? Why, when Esau, or like Esau, were hungry to the point of death, or like Jacob, you use your brother's suffering against him? Is there any sense to be made from Esau's pain and Jacob's shameless profiteering? What benefits is there in the conscious awareness of our subconscious? The benefit is this: sovereignty. We are all influenced by an emotional lineage, one that extends well into the past and that plays out in the present, and the degree to which we are beholden to these lineages, including whether or not we are destined to repeat them, depends on knowing where, in the context of our story, our relationships, our lives, we begin and others end. Seeing oneself as both separate and situated is a necessary feature of autonomy, agency, empowerment. Without differentiation or dependence, and our options for choice and for change are limited. It's through food that Esau finds favor with Isaac. Even as he lay dying, it's food from Esau that Isaac asks for. And in the shadow of Isaac's preference for Esau, his indifference for Jacob, Jacob uses food, specifically the commodification of food, to manipulate his brother, deceive his father, and to secure for himself a more favorable position. Of course, Esau does trade his birthright for a bowl of lentil soup. But in an economy where food is love, and you, like Esau, are at the point of death, what good, what use, what point is there to birthright? One wonders, I wonder, whether if Jacob or Esau had acted from a place of greater emotional sovereignty, rather than reflexively acting out Isaac's trauma, whether God's plan might have come to pass with a little less pain. Without Jacob having to lie or pretend to be someone he's not. Without Esau going hungry, or his heart breaking, or my heart breaking. Feed me, I'm weak. These words haunt me. That the commentators have been so critical of Esau also haunts me. I wager that anyone who disparages someone for giving in to hunger has never truly been hungry. What's a birthright worth anyway? text doesn't say. And a bowl of soup seemed a fair price to both brothers. And to those commentators seeking to absolve Jacob at the expense of Esau, and who suggest that Esau was just a coarse butcher hated by God, and whose subservience and exile were prophesied by divine oracle and what he deserved. To those commentators and to you, I would add that using food and other resources to wield power and exploit the poor, while simultaneously blaming the poor for their hunger and exploitation, has long been a strategy of the powerful. It's the very foundation of capitalism. It's what allows those with wealth and power to increase their wealth and expand their power while everyone else goes hungry. You'll notice in our texts in the Torah that Esau's plea to Jacob for food comes after he returns from the hunt. After. Esau returns from a day's work, a week's work. Esau returns from work, the work of procuring food. He's a hunter. And he comes home hungry, desperately. Was his hunt unsuccessful? We don't know. What we do know, and what economists and social scientists have long known, is that labor wages often fall far short of the ever-increasing cost of living, including specifically the cost of food, and that even people with one or more jobs often go hungry. We also know that hunger will cost you. It's what cost Esau, cost him his birthright. And it's part of what costs the working poor their power, indeed their sovereignty. As politicians make promises, like assurances, they understand the math, need and greed, and only ever trade to their advantage, coercing the vulnerable who, while vulnerable, still have a vote, to giving up long-term potential, long-term security, long-term change for short-term gain. Eat, eat, they say, though tomorrow you may die, at least you won't die hungry. Is it a fair trade? Hardly. But when hunger kills, death comes slowly. And of what concern is equity to the dying? Death by starvation is a gruesome, but sadly common way to go. It's also entirely preventable. Entirely. It's entirely preventable, and you are the only one who can prevent it. You, each and every one of you. You, me, us. We read in the book of Ezekiel that Abraham was one. That he was one and that he inherited the land. And according to Rabbi Nachman, it's from this place of oneness, of being one, the only one, that Abraham served God. Everything was up to him. And so he did everything he could. So it is with you. So it is with us. Ensuring that everyone has enough to eat is a deeply Jewish value, such that the rabbis devised a comprehensive food ethic. According to Ben Sira, a small bit of bread may be life to the poor, and the one who deprives them of it sheds blood. According to Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah, without sustenance, there is no Torah. Without Torah, there is no sustenance. In Midrash, we read, God says to Israel, my children, whenever you give sustenance to the poor, I impute it to you as though you gave sustenance to me. Does God eat and drink? No. But whatever you give, whenever you give food to the poor, God counts it to you as though you had given it to God. We read in Midrash Psalms that when In the world to come, you are asked, what was your profession? And you answer, I fed the hungry. You will be told, this is the gate of God's. Enter into it, you who have fed the hungry. What it all boils down to is this: feed people. Feeding people is more than a matter of subsistence. Sustenance, of course. It's a matter of life and death and the world to come, and a matter of justice. Now, thanks to the Farm Bill, this country produces mass quantities of food, enough to feed everyone with plenty left over. But feeding people is not just about quantity or availability or access. Those things are important. But the bill, while the bill has helped to secure the food supply, it's done so through the uneven production of soy and corn. It's perhaps ironic that the bill has saved lives, but that's what it produces in abundance. Cheap, fast, processed food is now what's killing us. One cannot live by bread alone. Or so they say. And you know what the rabbis say? The rabbis say it's forbidden to live in a town that doesn't have a garden. One cannot live by bread alone. We need fruits and vegetables and nutrients and sustenance ends. Maybe you're wondering what that has to do with emotional lineages and economic ethics and sovereignty. But it has to do with you. What it has to do with you is this. You are the only one. Like Abraham, you are one, the only one that can do this work. And as a matter of emotional lineage, one wonders if they're doing it, why they're doing it, why they're not. And this is an invitation to consider that. As a matter of economic ethic, one wonders what more they can do with what they have. And as a matter of sovereignty, there's no question. It's a choice. And the choice is yours. You're not required to finish the work, but nor are you free to desist. Shabbat Shalom. 677, offering now a prayer for healing of hearts and minds, and in the wake of this week's terror in Colorado Springs, this week's terror in Jerusalem, prayer for healing of this world. 677. For those of you who are holding in your hearts names of those who are in need of healing, inviting you to share them now. Kate Barnhart's, offering also our prayers for healing to Todd Albelli, Mark Aldrich, Sally Anderson, Amelia Byers, Audrey Cohen, Irene Dillon, Angela DeMare, David Fay, Ellie Ilitz, Ilona Johnson, Lou Klein, Ken Lejak, Karen Martinez, Susan Otsenas, Merle Perlmutter, Zorian Pinsky, Milton Rosen, Claude Schleuderer, Kahana Skolnick, Bev Ushkow, Ben Wilder, and for the continued healing of Lauren Petties. Rising now is your Able 587, reminder that it is on us.
Aleinu l'shabeach lahadon hakol, lateit gdula leotzer breshit, shehu sam chelchenu leyached et shemo, v'gor aleinu lehamlich malchuto, v'anachnu korin, u'mishachavim u'modim, lifnei melech malchei hamlachim, hakadosh baruch hu.
591.
V'nemar v'haya Adonai l'melech al kol haaretz bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad u'shemo echad.
May be seated for some announcements. Tomorrow morning, back here, Shabbat Minyan, 10 a.m. in the sanctuary. Next week, ongoing learning resumes as scheduled. Tuesday morning, meditation. Wednesday, trope. Conversational Hebrew. Thursday, coffee, chai with rabbi, and intro to Judaism. Our strategic planning committee invites you to be part of the planning for the future and for our committee on rabbinic hiring, rabbinic search committee, listening sessions scheduled and upcoming. Wednesday, November 30th in person, Sunday, December 4th in person. Next Friday, December 2nd, Shabbat experience and dinner, 6 o'clock. Childcare available. Information is, as always, available on the CEHV websites. Zemer and musical offerings to come. Join cantorial soloist Alexandra Schleuderer and our fellow musicians and singers as we rehearse for the first night of Hanukkah and for candle lighting. And that sounds very joyous. Rehearsals meet here at Temple on Wednesday, December 7th, 6 to 7, and on December 14th, also from 6 to 7. Hanukkah community candle lighting, Sunday, December 18th, 4 o'clock, just about dark at that time. There will be sufganiyot, and there will be latkes, and that's a good time. Not only latkes, but a latke competition.
Latka
Competitive latke eating. I feel like I'm made for this. And there are prizes. In fact, I've made it my personal spiritual goal to have latkes every day of Hanukkah. Mahjong has returns. You can reach out to Estelle Nadler if you are a Mahjong player or would like to play Mahjong. Our high holiday lockbox appeal is now our year-long lockbox appeal, inviting you to give as you can. The backpack project is still collecting backpack supplies, donations to help local students. Contact Cindy Silver, who knows about everything. The Israel trip coming up in June 2023, June 29th. The itinerary is posted. You can find that on the website, and you can contact Alex Markovich with any questions. The war in the Ukraine continues, and our support is still needed. We are partnering with the Ukrainian American Youth Association to collect much needed medical supplies, which can be donated here. And the CHB Food Access and Security Initiative, in case you're wondering what to do with all of those questions that came up for you during the drash, to do and how to feed people, you can do it at the Blue Fridge through the Food Access and Security Initiative. And should you have questions, also contact Cindy Silver, the keeper of all knowledge. These things I know. How the living go on living, and how the dead go on living with them, so that in a forest, even a dead tree casts a shadow, and the leaves fall one by one, and the branches break in the wind, and the bark peels off slowly, and the trunk cracks, and the rain seeps in through the cracks, and the trunk falls to the ground, and the moss covers it. And in the spring, rabbits find it, and they build their nest inside the dead tree, so that in nature, nothing is wasted, so that in love, nothing is wasted. If you are in a period of mourning, of Shiva, Floshim, Shana, 7 days, 30 days, a year of mourning, we mourn with you. We also invite you to rise and share the names of your loved one who you're mourning. Peter Raskin. We mourn with you. We grieve with you. We stand with you. Inviting you now in the sanctuary to stand in community, in grief, as we as we mourn the recent passing of William Levitz, Errol Nadler, Joshua Zimitz, Elaine Trott Scutaro, Mary Lestrange, Susan Bosch, and all others who, as a community, lost this time in years past. Bring also prayer of remembering the yard site of Henrietta Block, Rosetta Rosette Davis is remembered by Lucinda Siegel. Jacob Aaron Saul, Leslie Fleischer, remembered by Fonda Rothblatt. Gerard Harrington Jr., Gerard Harrington's father. Joseph F. Katz, Sophie Katz, Burton Leader, remembered by Karen Joy Leader. Susan Sackler, remembered by Nancy Michaels. Louis Sampson, Judy Tollerman, remembered by Donald Tollerman. David Weil, Beatrice Weinberg, Joy Weinberg's mother. Hannah W. Weiss, adding also to this list of names the names of those who are not known and for whom Kaddish has not been said and for whom there's no one left to say it, adding also the names of those of every race and nation whose lives we lift up and whose deaths we grieve. Zikronam Livracha. May their memories be for a blessing. 598. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabbah. V'alma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei. B'chai echon v'yom echon uv'chayei l'kol beit Yisrael. Ba'agala v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam ulamei olmaya. Yitbarak v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yit'alal shmei t'kudesha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechemata. Da'amiran v'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama Rabbah min shemaya. V'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav. Hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'al kol b'nei Adam v'imru amen. May be seated. $6:45. $122, sanctifying this day together with a blessing for food. Vay'erev vayvoker yom hashishi. Vayachulu hashemayim ba'aretz v'chol zavam. Vayachal Elohim b'yom hashvi'i malakto asher asa. Vayeshop b'yom hashvi'i mikol malakto asher asa. Vayivarech Elohim et yom hashvi'i vaykidesh oto ki vo shavat mikol malakto asher bara Elohim la'asod sabri. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech
melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho, v'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu, zikaron lema'aseh bereshit, ki hu yom tehillah, l'nikra'ei kodesh, zecher l'tziat Mitzrayim, kivanu v'harta, v'yatanu kidashta, mikol ha'amim, v'shabbat kodshecha, v'ahava uvratzon, inchaltanu, baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh Hashabbat. Amen. Amotzi lechem min haaretz. We give thanks to the source above. Our voices rise in song together as our joyful prayer is said. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen.
Shabbat Shalom. Come eat. Without bread, there is no Torah.